Alright, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. My name is Barba223, and if you haven't tuned in already, I make a lot of build videos and I post a lot of gameplay. Today we are here with a Magic Warden. It's a PvP build that I have used in the past. It was a while ago since I used it. To be honest with you, it's pretty good. It does a lot of damage. It's very, very tanky. It's like free damage. Like, you don't have to really put in any effort to actually get the damage, so that's really nice. But overall, this build is pretty solid, and I apologize for not posting as much the past couple weeks. I've been really grinding New World. I got the new DLC on New World. I got the highest level. I was grinding my gear score. I was trying to get new gear and all that. And I realized rather than picking sides and picking ESO or New World, ESO, New World, right? I can enjoy both. I can post content for both, right? If you're gonna watch me, I'm happy. If you're not gonna watch me and it's not your type of content, I understand. But I'm going to enjoy both. I'm going to post videos for both because I do love both games. Alright, that's the reality. It is what it is. I know some of you are Team ESO, Team New World, whatever it may be, but I just wanted to throw that out there for you guys. I hope you enjoy me enough to watch my videos regardless. But anyways, without any further ado, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. This build is a banger, and it's probably one you guys are probably pretty familiar with already, but let's get into it. Alright, so on the character screen, we're kind of just chilling with, hold up. So we get almost 21,000 magic. That gets up to like 20, I don't know, 23-ish. We have 40k health, it gets up to like 42 and a half. And then our stamina gets up to about 15 and a half, whatever, give or take. Spell damage is not totally correct. I mean, it's at 3,200 while it's just chilling now. I have recovery glyphs on my jewelry right now, so this is totally your discretion. If you want to use recovery, go ahead. If you want to use spell damage, go ahead. It's about how you feel and finding that sweet spot for yourself. We're at 25% crit. We're at 8,700 pen before our major and minor breach, so that's pretty solid. We're at 22,000 resistance, which gets all the way up to about 35 on spell and 31 on physical, and then the front bar is not much different, 28 and 32. 1,600 mag recovery when we pop a potion. My gosh. We're chilling at 2,000, which is what I'm saying. It's a bit overkill on the recovery. We probably don't need that much. So if you want to use like spell damage glyphs on your jewelry to get your spell damage up, feel free. But this build does a lot of flat damage. That's what Warden's pretty good at. They do a lot of flat damage. So that's up to you. We have 11 points in magic, 53 in health. We're using Jewels of Misrule. Jewels of Misrule is solid. It's just like the worst version of the bear haunch that's super expensive, so Jewels of Misrule is not much different, and it's pretty good. We use the Mage Mundus, and we are Vampire Stage 3. The Mage is like just my preference. I mean, you don't have to use the Mage. You can use whatever you want. Like, if you want to use spell damage, feel free. If you want to use recovery, you can. It's all scaled similar. I like having the extra pool of magic. I don't know. That's just what I like to have. So, whatever you feel comfortable with is what I think you should use. I want you guys to test it because, again, I'm not the say-all, be-all person. If you don't agree, feel free to change it. Yeah. We are a Breton as well because Breton is just the best on magic builds, to be honest. So, yeah. Alright, so for the gear, we're not using anything that someone hasn't seen before here. We're using an ice staff, a master's ice staff to be exact. We have sharpened on it. I have used, I'm telling you, I think I used every trait on Earth for the master ice staff. I've used charge, I've used sharpen, I've used Nernhone, I've used, I don't know, maybe even decisive at some point. I think I've used precise, I don't know, but sharpen's the best. The penetration is unmatched. It beats everything out. It's just good. Penetration hits different. We're using a frost glyph just because, again, this is preference. If you don't want to use frost glyphs, you don't have to. Right? You can use whatever you want. So if you don't know what Master Ice Staff does, it reduces cost of destructive touch by 10%, and it increases your weapon and spell damage by 600 for 4 seconds. It's a lot of damage. That's about all I have to say. So our spell damage gets up over, like, it's up to like 4,500-ish. Which is great. So Master Ice Staff is like free damage because it's a skill we're probably going to use anyways, and it makes our destructive clench so loaded because it does so many things at one time for us it just becomes an amazing skill. So I'll explain that a little bit more when we get to the skills, but it's really good. You get this from Dragonstar Arena if you don't know. On the back bar, we're using Desert Rose. I got some comments on my last couple of videos when I used Desert Rose over Wretched. Well, to me, one, Wretched's just a meta cheese set. Like, I like to use stuff that's different. I get it. Is Wretched better overall for total recovery? Yes, it is. It gives more balanced recovery for stamina and magic. This gives a crap ton of magic. I think people actually don't realize how much magic it really gives. I'll explain, but we are using Powered, and we are using a Berserker. I think it's a Berserker glyph here, just the extra weapon and spell damage. So you give Armor, which is very, very nice. You give Health, which is very, very nice for a Warden. You get Magic, which always helps. And then when you take damage, you have a 25% chance to restore, I'll just round up and say 2,000 magic every 4 seconds, okay? Recovery happens every 2 seconds. That's cut in half. So if you have 2,000 magic recovery every 4 seconds, you cut that in half, you're getting 1,000 every 2 seconds. All right. What is recovery? You get your magic back every 2 seconds. So what am I saying here? Essentially, you're getting 1,000 recovery, right? 1,000 magic recovery. It's crazy to think about, but you are essentially getting 1,000 magic recovery. Now, again, Wretched gives stamina and it gives magic. It gives a decent amount of both. I want to say Wretched gives, 400 and something recovery? That's great. Don't get me wrong. That is very, very good. But Desert is giving 1,000 almost of magic recovery. You can argue it if you want, but it does. All right, and the 25% chance is when you take damage, so it could be any type of damage, dots and direct damage, anything. All right, so it's proccing pretty much right when that 4 seconds is up. I'm telling you guys, this set is good. It gives a lot of recovery, and I'm just a big fan of it. I like this set. I think it's very good. So, again, if you want to use Wretched instead of this, I'm not, by all means, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just saying I like Desert Rose. So that's my argument for it. I defended it. Let me know what you think down below. Falcon Scoria. Okay, Falcon Scoria. We're using one piece here. I would like to have Reinforced on the helm, but not much you can do. I have what I have. So we are using Falcon Scoria just for the one line of penetration because it's good. I mean, you can use any one piece here. If you want to use a Balorg, you can use a Balorg. If you want to use Nunatak for armor, you can use armor. You can get a weapon damage. It's whatever you want. So on the body, we're using 5 pieces of Hrothgar. Hrothgar is a slept-on set. This set used to actually be a lot better back in the day. So you see down here, well, let me go through the set first, why we use it. So number 1, this set is a perfect pair for Warden. It's frost damage. It procs off of immobilizing, which is our clench, which is also boosted by our Master Ice Staff. So our clench does a ton. It also does a lot more. I'll show you when we get into the skills, but clench is going to do a million things for us. So here we're getting health, which is very, very nice. We're getting armor, so again, that's always nice. And then we're getting a penetration line, which in a heavy armor, quote-unquote, tanky set is very, very good. All right, so stunning or immobilizing your enemy, which we use with clench, causes them to burst with frost magic, applying chilled, which Warden does more damage with chilled, so that's also nice to note. And dealing 13% of their total physical and spell resistance as frost damage to them and everyone within 8 meters. This effect can occur every 7 seconds, ignores spell resistance, and cannot be blocked. Man, that was word vomit. But essentially what this set's saying is that it does a lot of damage. Okay, the chilled status effect, if you don't know. Alright, so Warden, I'll find it, sorry. Warden does 737 extra damage with our chilled status effect, which I think is buffed by, 820 extra damage with our status effect. So we're getting, I want to say it's like 1600 or something. So you do like 1600 on the chill, and then you do 13% of their physical and spell resistance. Now, if someone has 30k resistance, right, you're doing, what, 3500 almost? So that's really good. You're getting, so that's 3500 plus the like 1600 that frost damage does. It's like 40 something hundred, and it's AoE, and it ignores resistance, so it's going to do a lot more. So it's really, really good. It also procs off of our crystallized slab, which also kind of helps. But this set is great. It offers so much versatility. It's like free damage. You don't have to do anything special. That's why I like this set. And it's AoE, right? So you can actually melt people with this. If you heavy attack into a frost clench, you can do like half of someone's health bar just by this. If it crits, it's so good. All right, so we are using a triglyph if you can reinforce on the big pieces. That's just what the plan is. So we have heavy, 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 and then we go light on the waist and hands because they're the lightest, and then we go heavy, heavy. So reinforced, well fitted is okay, but you want reinforced. You should go well fitted or impen, reinforce or impen, reinforce, impen, whatever. All right, so mixture of well fitted, impen, and reinforce. Reinforce being the best. So down here we have a necklace of desert rose. You want bloodthirsty, but I don't have it right now, so that's what you want. I have Hrothgar ring again. You want bloodthirsty, and it's really, really good. And then lastly, you want Death Dealer's Feet. Now, Death Dealer's Feet is another flex spot. If you don't like Death Dealer, I'm not going to be too against using something else. You could even go a Ring of Desert Rose and then go Sea Serpent Coil in the neck, or you could use, like, I don't know, Marken Ring of Majesty to get extra armor and flat damage. It's whatever you want, but I like having the extra resources. Now, the reason being is because on Warden, your health is scaled by a percentage, right? So you get that minor toughness, you get that 10%. So it's going to scale higher when you have this up, because this gives like 2,400 resources or something like that. So it's going to scale higher, which is really good. And then again, it just gives you more magic and stamina to work with, because we do use every resource. So to be honest, it's really good. This is my favorite mythic, I think. I used to use Marken always, and then I think I kind of switched over to this and never looked back. But it is my favorite. Now, if you don't have this, I would just go piece of trainee. It's not really that much. I mean, it's different, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't have this. You could use trainee. It's whatever you want to use, or a piece of druid or whatever. But this is a game changer for me, so it's what I use. So on the skills, I'll just get into that real quick. I'm sorry, I'm trying to take up all your time. So we're using Blue Betty because it restores a lot of magic, and it gives you a major sorcery, and it cleanses. So if you stand there like this, right, and you just spam Betty, you can see that it's healing me, right? It heals, and it cleanses every single time I spam it. So if you're like kiting around it, this tree is tiny, but imagine this is a bigger tree, right? And you're just like kiting around the tree, fighting someone, right? You can spam this and get your negative effects off you, so that's really good. And here we're using Deep Fissure because it does a lot of damage. It's a major minor breach. It's just a big, big, big burst. If you can line that up with your Hrothgar proc, it's really good. Bird of Prey is a must-have skill. It is major expedition. It's a snare immunity, and it gives you minor berserk, and it gives you 2% crit damage in the passives. Here we're using Corrupting Pollen. This one really helps you kill those tanky MFers, okay? It is a 6-second AoE, like you put on your feet like this, but it's a big area. Like if you try to just fight in here, right, melee builds kind of get wrecked. Or if you're like in a BG or, open world, and you just drop a thing on the pack and start wailing on them, it really helps because it's going to heal your teammates, but it's also going to apply major defile and minor cowardice, so it reduces their healing received by 16% and their weapon and spell damage by 215. So that really will give you the upper hand in a fight. Like, you might not have the most damage in the world, but if you're using this, you're going to get the upper hand a lot of the time. And you have a lot of debuffs here on damage, so I'll show you in a second, but you have a lot of debuffs to offer the team, so that's good. So here we're using Frost Clench, like I said about debuffs. So this one always applies chilled, which is very, very good. So if you don't know, you can actually double apply chilled. So let me explain that. So when you use Frost Clench, right, so it's going to immobilize and it's going to apply chilled, but Hrothgar also applies chilled. So what's going to happen is you're going to use this, watch, look how much pops up, all right, because you applied chilled twice. All right, so there was a lot of numbers that popped up there. So when you immobilize someone, right, you will immobilize them and apply chill, which is like 1,700 damage, which is very good, right? That's really, really good. But Hrothgar is going to proc, do its damage, and apply chilled again. Right, so this still only does 3,000 on paper, all right, but it does about 4,700 because of chilled. And then on top of that, you're applying Hrothgar plus that chilled, and you're getting like double damage. So that's why I'm saying it can burst people, because it does a lot more damage than people are realizing. So it's very, very good. It also immobilizes, so it's a very good CC skill when people are trying to chase you down. And it also applies major maim, reducing their damage done by 10%. So like you have a ridiculous amount of debuffs here. Like you have major minor breach, you have major defile, minor cowardice, and you have major maim. Like, it's kind of crazy how much damage you have here, or how much damage mitigation, damage debuffing you have. It's very good. So then make sure you're spamming this, right? So the ultimate combo is you're dropping a deep fissure, you're heavy attacking into your Hrothgar, right? And it does a lot of damage. All right, that did like 25k there, so that's very good. Get off me. All right, so it's a very, very good combo. All right, so we're using Dawnbreaker as our alt. You can feel free to use Northern Storm. To be honest, Northern Storm might be better. You can use whatever you like. Literally between those two, use whatever one you feel better with. The reason I was using Dawnbreaker is because it's a stun. It just makes it easier to burst people down. But the Northern Storm is like, oh my god, let me get away from this guy. He's a psycho. All right, that's how I feel about Northern Storm. It's really good. So on the back bar, I'll be quick here. We're using Ice Fortress, very good. You have to have this, minor protection, major resolve. Resolving Vigor is a minor resolve and big heal, right? Very good. Here we're using Polar Wind. Polar Wind is amazing. It's a ridiculous heal, all right? It does 15k, 22k on a crit. It also heals a teammate. It heals you over as a dot. As you can see, it's just ticking for 36. All right, so look at all this healing coming in here. And I'm using 2 skills. Right, that's a lot of healing coming in. So very, 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 very good skill. All right, here we're using Crystallized Slab. Basically is a projectile stopper. It's a hard counter to projectile builds. It stuns them, it does damage, and it absorbs them, so it's very good. Lotus Blossom is our crit. It also gives a nice heal on our light and heavy attacks. It also heals teammates as well, so that's very, very good. Here we're using Life Giver. Life Giver is like the most powerful single heal in the game. It's almost like invulnerability for 5 seconds. Like literally, you can't really be killed with it. Especially if you're using your healing on top of that, you really can't be killed. I'm just gonna use it and show you. I mean, look at this. You could like, how are you gonna be killed? You're not. That's the answer. You're not gonna be killed. All right. So just keep that in mind. All right. So that's what we're using. If you don't feel like you're comfortable with this, like if you don't want to use, if you don't like Corrupting Pollen, you feel free to go Fetcher. You can feel free to go Gripping Shards for a little bit of CC. Like, it's whatever you feel comfortable with. So I try to make builds that have a little bit of wiggle room. You could even go Elemental Storm as your all and make it follow you around and destroy people. But that's up to you. You know, again, you could even go, just to give you another option, you could even do a Destructive Clench here, and then you can go Arterial Burst here for like that, just a ridiculous magic damage. So that's, again, your preference. I like to use the debuff here to help my team out and help me out. So that's what I use. Champion points, I'll be quick. Master at Arms, Biting Aura, Ironclad, Untamed Aggression, and then Celerity, Pain's Refuge, Sustained by Suffering, Peace of Mind. All right, that is what I'm running. I hope you all enjoy. I'm going to attach some gameplay at the end. I apologize this video is long, but it is what it is. Have a good day, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Peace out.